Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And we have the story, the inside scoop of how our man Dion got evicted. Man, that's horrible. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, Mike. I'm doing great. Ready for round two. And I like that I told you I was evicted, which is factually true. But I haven't given you any other details. So you're actually, anybody watching is going to get to see the reaction on Mike's face as I share the information.
Yes. All right.
Right. So one of the benefits to being financially independent is being able to take a vacation. And I hope my partners who own the rest of my company that I work for don't watch this video. But I just say, I'm going to take a month or two and go to Florida and scuba dive until I'm bored, and then I'll be back. And they know that since work is optional, they just go, all right, cool. I mean, can you take a laptop and, do some work while you're there? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I got a laptop. I'll even do some YouTube while I'm here.
There you go.
So I thought, this is the really cool thing about being financially free. And I want to make a video about this if I can figure out a way to do it where it's not bragging. I want to show people that this is what is possible, not, hey, look at what I've done.
Yeah.
The cash flow for my rentals, the profit after principal, interest, taxes, insurance, setting aside for repairs, maintenance, and vacancy is about $14,000 a month now. So I took $5,000 for an Airbnb in Florida per month. I figured that'd be a fair amount. And then $5,000 for scuba and food and alcohol. So just a little bit. So I thought, I'll spend $10,000 a month, which means that going to Florida for a month or two, or however long it ends up being, and spending at least $10,000 a month while I'm here, without looking at work, when I come home, I will have more money in my bank account than when I left.
Yeah.
That's financial freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cool. So
I booked the Airbnb. Actually, I book a Vrbo, which everybody says VRBO, but when you call VRBO, they call it Vrbo because they want people to call it that. It's their branding.
Okay.
The guy who owns the Vrbo is in his 80s.
Oh, wow.
And his spouse is in her 60s or 70s. And they play the senile old couple very well. Like they've got it down to a science. But they're not. They're very productive, very successful real estate agents.
Okay. All right.
Their Vrbo is in an HOA. It's a 20-unit apartment complex where they've broken it into basically what do you call condos, and then they Vrbo the condo.
Yep.
Well, the HOA doesn't like that.
Yeah, shocking.
So the HOA wants to make sure that their tenants are safe. So the HOA says, if you're not going to have anybody stay here short term, which I was doing 38 days, because I wasn't sure I wanted to stay there. I was going to book out the next month at the next place.
Yeah.
Said you have to pay $40 for a background check. They're going to run basically like an apartments.com background check on me to get credit and criminal or however they were going to do it.
Yep.
Well, the owner wanted to chintz out and not pay the $40. So he just never let them know I was coming.
Ooh.
So the Vrbo booking for the 38 days was $4,800. So I was right in my $5,000 budget of what I wanted to spend per month, maybe a little less because I was getting some extra days. Okay. So the HOA evicted me. I showed up one day. They realized I was there. They saw where I parked my car. They know what unit that went to. They came in the next day and basically evicted me. I tried, hey, what if I just pay the background check? I mean, I'm former law enforcement, former military. I don't have anything on my record because I never got caught.
Right.
And they wouldn't even do that. They wanted to punish the Vrbo owner by saying, since you didn't follow our rules, you just can't do this. And there's like a 4-day delay for the background check or whatever.
Sure.
It's like, get a hold of the owner, get a hold of Vrbo. Vrbo takes the $4,800 back from him. Okay. So he lost $4,800 because he didn't want to spend $40 on a background check. Vrbo is awesome. So when I make the video on this on my channel, it's going to be kind of like a Vrbo advertisement. The marketing guy or whoever I was talking to says, hey, we totally get it. This isn't your fault. This is the owner's fault. We're going to find you another Vrbo in the area. The one that I'm in, that I'm getting the 38 days for, would have been a little over 10 grand. So it's on a canal. It's all private. It's a house. It's not a unit. So I'm still paying the $4,800 to be here, but I'm getting a $10,000 value. So I made $5 grand.
Nice
mistake. He lost $5 grand because of his mistake. I did have the day where I was evicted and Vrbo paid for me to go stay in a hotel for a couple of days, which I spend a lot of time in hotels with my job anyways. So that's the Dion eviction story of
Wow.
don't save $40 to lose 5,000.
That's amazing all around. So first off, I've never booked a Verbo, so I guess I'll try to do that. So that's another service to check out. I've only done 1 or 2 Airbnbs in my day, right? I'm an old fart. I had a platinum card at all different hotels. I've got plenty of nights or points free. But I am going to an Airbnb next week. So I'll let everybody know about that next week. So it's pretty crazy that an owner, it's 1%. 1%. And he's probably going to be fined. He's also probably going to be fined by the HOA. He's probably out more than the 4,800.
And then this is how good he plays the senile old guy thing. He says, or I could pay the background check and then you could just pay me and not go through Verbo, so I don't have to pay their fee. And that will cover the cost of the background check. He was so cheap that I don't see how he's still successful at investing.
Yeah, that's not going to end well. And again, I guarantee you, right? We're part of an HOA where Olivia and I live, and yeah, we've had a couple people try to do that, and it doesn't end well. Eventually, the HOA has a lot of power, and it's probably going to be uncomfortable, especially a small 20 units. Right, we're in something's like 300 units, but yeah, 20 units. They are going to get there. So in the end, Dion wins. Dion always wins because good karma comes to good people, and Dion is amazing. So now you're on a canal. Could you just scuba dive right outside, or do you have to go somewhere else?
I'm going to a place where we go out on a boat and do 2 dives during each day. And well, not each day, but I try to dive during the week when there's less people. So weekends are free. So I'm glad you reached out on a Sunday to say, hey, let's do some videos.
There you go.
Awesome. It is packed here, everything on the weekends. I don't go to restaurants, don't go scuba.
Yeah, Florida is jumping. I think Florida is the spot to be, and I don't think it's going to slow down. I think Florida it's going to be the spot for a while.
No, I totally understand why Matsky Finance moved here.
Yeah.
This is where he chose to retire. And he's trying to talk Millennial Mike into, once he reaches financial freedom, moving here as well. Yeah. And I get it. I like Washington State. Nothing's trying to kill me. We don't have earthquakes, tornado. We don't have hurricanes, alligators, pythons. There's panthers. There's panther warning signs everywhere I go. Thanks.
That is hilarious. All right, buddy. Thanks again.